Number 14. A group of hospital workers belonging to a union each earned the same hourly wage. The union dues are 2% of each paycheck, regardless of whether the employee works full-time, half-time, or quarter-time. Does this mean that the amount of money deducted will be the same for all employees? So if you work full-time and I work part-time, will we have the same deductions every paycheck? We'll have the same rate of deduction, but will the deductions be the same? So let's think about this in terms of, let me do a table for this one. Let's just draw ourselves a thinking table. And we're looking at full-time employees, part-time, so we have full-time, and they get a 2% deduction. We have half-time. They get a 2% deduction. And we get quarter-time. And they also get a 2% deduction. So is this saying that everybody loses the same amount of money? They don't. They don't lose the same. So yes is not the answer. Yes would mean that everybody loses the same amount of money. So let me show you another part of this. Full-time employees, let's assume that they work 40 hours per pay period, a week, we'll say. So half-time would be only 20 hours. Half of 40 is 20. And a quarter of 40 is only 10 hours. Now they're all making the same amount per hour, but this is a no because they're not working the same amount of hours. Each person in these categories, they're making the same per hour, they're getting the same rate, but they are not working the same number of hours. So let's say that, I'm just picking a number at random, let's say that everybody makes $15 an hour. Doesn't matter how many hours you work, your rates are the same. Your deductions the same, and also your hourly pay. But in order for everybody to be equal, the number of hours would have to be the same. So let me just go ahead and follow this train of thought. Let's say the full-time person makes $15 an hour and works 40 hours. And then we're going to take 2% of that for union dues. So let's do this on the calculator. 15 times 40 times 2%. So this would be a $12 deduction. And I am not going to have enough room. Let's do the half-time person. So the half-time person makes $15 an hour, works 20 hours, half-time, and then we take 2% of that paycheck. So 15 times 20 times 2% is $6 deducted. Makes sense? Because full-time had $12 deducted. Half-time only takes half of that. And you can probably figure this one in your head. 15 times 10 hours, and then you take 2% of that. So 150 times 2% is only $3 deducted. So we make the same hourly rate, we get the same 2% deduction, but the difference is that the hours are different. So let's see what choices we have. We know it's not yes. Everybody's not equal. B says no, the quarter-time employees will have the greatest amount deducted. Well, that's not true. The half-time employees will have the greatest amount deducted. That's not true. The quarter-time and half-time employees will have the greatest amounts deducted. That's not true. Even if you added those two together, the $6 and the $3 deduction would be $9 deducted, and that still is not as much as the full-time. This is the true one. The full-time people will have the greatest amount deducted, and the reason is because they work more hours. Some people see this one right off the bat. They don't have to do anything. They can just read it and know the answer. If you're one of those people, that's awesome. Just do it and go on. If you cannot do that, I'm trying to show you a way to figure it out. So you can do this table, some sort of organization, and sort of reason your way through. But that's not an easy question for some people.